Hey everyone, it's Jamie from Seasoned Ritual and IndependenceStNola, and I am here with my good friend Helen, the Crimson Cadaverous.
Hello.
And we are back at CR Coffee up on Magazine Street. And we are here for our weekly celestial update for the week of 1:30 to 2:05. So we are coming out of the dead of winter.
Yes.
And we're moving into February.
Yes.
Yeah.
Second half of winter.
The second half of
Yes.
winter, if you will. Okay, so let's start with Monday the 30th, January 30th. The moon will be in Taurus.
Yep. Quickly moving into Gemini though. So
Okay.
going from that like fixed grounded energy into that kind of like flighty, curious, interested energy of Gemini.
Right, which is another air sign.
Yes.
Our sun is still in Aquarius.
Yes. Forming a square with Venus on that day.
Okay.
So definitely we might have a little bit of a challenge with our value system, making sure that our mind is right with how we feel about our values.
Okay, can I just tell you this? This Venus in Pisces, right? So the moon is moving into Gemini, and then it will square Venus. And Venus is in Pisces.
Yes.
So before, in the age of Pisces, when Venus was in Pisces, and my friend Carrie, you know who I work with, was like, I said, Venus is in Pisces. And she goes, oh God, there's just going to be all these romance scams.
Oh.
Okay.
In the age of Pisces, maybe.
Right. But I feel like in this age of Aquarius, what's happening with Venus and Pisces is that the veil, like the Band-Aid's getting ripped off. So you were like, so, like whoever, whatever. Not you personally, but just whoever's like, this is a good relationship. And then Venus in Pisces would be like, yeah, right, and be like illusionary. But
I think that veil's lifted now.
And so Venus in Pisces is like, you're not my dream. I need to find my real dream. Like, this is not the dream. So I feel like, and I can tell you yesterday, I forgot to tell you this. We went to dinner, and there were couples arguing, like straight up arguing. And I was like, Venus and Pisces.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think,
I was like, this isn't love. That's what I wanted to say. I'm saying, this isn't love.
Yeah, it's definitely a time to have like the veil lifted and like recognize that almost like the Venus and Pisces of before maybe would have been that codependent, dreamy, like illusionary love.
Got to stay in it no matter what.
But almost now I think we can look at it in a higher way where we're almost like looking at it in an individual level, like the dreaminess of maybe like our creative work or like how we see the world and the beauty in it, and like focus more on those types of things as opposed to focusing on
the other.
Yes.
See, that's good too, because in Aquarius, the sun is in Aquarius.
Yes.
We are in this age of Aquarius, which is the individual. And the Venus is what we value in ourselves.
Yes.
So you can bring in those dreams about how you, well, I don't want to say bring in those dreams, but get reconnected.
Yeah, reconnected with the dreams that that make your soul sing, basically. Yeah, and I think that's kind of what Venus and Pisces is really supposed to be about.
I think so. I think it is now.
Yeah, definitely. And on that same day, we've got the moon forming a conjunction with Mars, which I think is great. So we've got this interesting play out with like the feminine and the masculine energy. But Mars is now stationed direct. So this is the first time they've met up. The moon and Mars have met up in a while when Mars was actually going forward.
This is good because I feel like if you are coming to that realization, if you're coming to the realization that this isn't relationship for me in whatever job, whatever, Mars is going to be like, it's cool, sis, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Instead of being like, no, we got to stay in it. Like Venus is like, I value myself, and Mars is like, I value you too. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. And that's how we gain our power back.
Yeah.
And I think, what happens the next day.
Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay.
When we've got the moon in Gemini still trining the sun. That supports that. That supports that authenticity where it's like the things that are draining our power, the things that are illusionary, almost, it's like they just kind of have to fall away. Yeah,
because that moon in Gemini's air, the sun's in Aquarius, like we were talking
about. And the light of the sun shining down going, all right, this isn't right anymore.
But it's also very logical. You said that before we came on. This is a very logical day. Oh, and you also said it was very authentic. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And again, the sun wants authenticity. So, yeah.
That sun, this is setting up that solar plexus for sure. Yeah. Okay, Wednesday, moon is in Gemini.
Yes.
Still. seems like it's in there forever.
I know,
That's
I know.
fine. Okay.
And then we've got that trine with Saturn, which I feel like, you know, whatever.
Trine is like, that trine energy is good energy.
Right, making things flow. And it's almost like alleviating any self-imposed restrictions or restrictions, you know, we let someone else impose upon us.
Yeah.
That just don't serve us anymore and that we know aren't letting us be our higher selves.
Right, because you guys remember, Gemini is the twins. So if you feel like you're stuck in duality the first couple days, that's when you need to ask yourself, what's that third option?
Yeah.
You know, if you feel like, if I do this, I'm, you know, bleh, and if I do this, I'm blah, and these are my only two options.
Yeah.
It's when you put your hands together in prayer position and you say, no, there's got to be a third and higher option. So ask yourselves for that option because it's trining that Saturn in Aquarius.
Yeah.
And Saturn's going to bring in something that is stable because on Wednesday, that moon in Gemini will be squaring Neptune and Pisces, which is going to tell you
questioning the illusions.
Right. Where are these illusions? Where? How can you move?
How have you put the veil over yourself? Basically.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And so that Saturn is going to be like, okay, let's see what you're gonna be able to move into something that's stable. But it's important for you guys to ask yourself, what's the third option? What's the highest option?
Yeah.
Oh, also on Wednesday it's Imbolc, which is the halfway point between the winter solstice
spring equinox.
and the spring equinox.
Yes.
So I might do a
We're
little.
halfway done with winter.
Yeah, I might do that little typity type on that for my.
So, you know,
that's
if
right.
you've gone through, you know, half of your peanuts for the winter or whatever, you know, you're doing all right.
You're doing all right. Yeah.
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 Whatever the squirrels have.
I know, that's a good idea.
Actually, the squirrels plant those seeds.
Oh.
The peanuts. Yeah, they're planting in the forest, so they have stuff to continue. I learned that. I thought they were squirreling them away.
Yeah.
They're planting.
Oh, thank you, squirrels.
Yeah. So they have more trees for later. They're very smart.
That's very smart.
Yeah.
Okay, so Thursday.
Yes.
The moon will move into Cancer.
Yes.
Okay, it'll be squaring Jupiter and Aries.
Yeah.
Okay. Trining that Venus and Pisces.
Yes. So that's a little bit more easier flow energy than what we had on Monday with Venus. So I think maybe if there was like some harsh realities that we kind of face on Monday, it might actually feel like okay by Thursday. It might just be like, oh, you know what? I don't even care.
Yeah. Also with that square, you know, Cancer, like when the moon, you know, is our intuition. So the Cancer, you know, Cancer is the home, which is us. And squaring that Jupiter and Aries, I think, is a good energy because if you were just going to be like, I'm packing all my shit and I'm leaving, you know, it's going to be like, okay, let's just pump the brakes and see how you can maneuver this instead of just because Jupiter and Aries is a lot of big energy.
Right.
Yep. So that square though, it's going to be like, okay, what are other ways that I can that's going to come in with us for sure.
Well, and that conjunction with Pallas Athena actually is really supporting that strategic planning.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because what Pallas Athena is for us, she's an asteroid.
Okay.
That's she's an asteroid, and what she's our how do you say this? Like the warrior, strategizing warrior. How do you?
Yeah. She's our general.
That? Yeah,
but
like
Lady
she's
General.
the one who's putting out the plans, you know, of attack out. And so that doesn't necessarily mean something like violent, like we're going to go actually attack people or anything like that.
But it's like bringing in a new strategy.
Right. How do you strategize moving forward? And again, with that sextile with the North Node and Uranus, we're moving in a different direction. We keep feeling that. But again, we're easily flowing in that direction because we've made those plans with Pallas Athena. And she's like, this is how you move forward. This is your plan of attack, essentially, for life.
Yeah, which is good. You guys remember, like, that moon is in Cancer, but that sun is still in Aquarius.
Yeah.
So that's a good balance of emotion and logic. Okay, so Friday, the moon is, it's February 3rd. I was like, Friday's February 3rd. It is.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
Already, wow.
Okay, moon in Cancer. What do you want to say about Friday?
Moon in Cancer opposite Mercury. You know, moon in Cancer obviously is our emotions. Moon is at home in Cancer.
Yeah, moon is ruled by Cancer.
Yes.
Cancer is ruled by the moon. That's what I meant to say.
I knew what you meant.
Thank you.
And then
that's why we're friends, Helen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then opposition to Mercury. Mercury is our mind. So it's almost like kind of like seeing eye to eye, like emotions and your mind and your intellect.
This is good. And I kind of
feel
feel like
find some kind of a balance. again, trying Neptune.
Right.
The balance is trusting our intuition. Because our intuition kind of speaks to the mind, but also speaks to the emotions.
And I think that's kind of like the theme of the week, is really seeing through this illusion.
Yes.
And getting that feminine and masculine energy to work in tandem.
Yes.
Because I think a lot of times back in the days of duality, it was like Saturn taskmaster. You know, you're either like dreamy and like the guy you saw this morning at 5 a.m. with all the stuff, or you were just working.
Yeah.
And there was no in between.
There's no balance, and I think we're finding that balance.
Yeah, we're moving through that, and I really feel like this week is highlighting that.
Yeah, and I think, Sun squaring Uranus on that same day.
The same day, so the moon's in Cancer.
Yes.
And then the Sun in Aquarius will square
Uranus and Taurus. I think that's really important because Uranus is like doing things differently. Mm-hmm. And I think it's saying that, like, for us to be true to ourselves, something has to be different. Mm-hmm. And there is a challenge on that day. I really feel that strongly. And, like, again, challenges are good. That's how we level up. But there is a challenge on that day to say, how do we really, truly find that balance between, the mind and the emotions,
right,
but stay true to ourselves the whole time.
Right.
And, again, I think there's something we have to do differently, and we might have that moment, especially now that Uranus is kind of moving out of his, retrograde and stuff. We're continuing to have those revelations that he gives us. There's something there that I think is just going to be like, I just can't do this anymore.
Right, and I feel like what's coming in is like we're going to just feel like we feel like we're going to have to start thinking differently.
Yeah. Yes,
and
definitely.
like
Uranus is the higher octave of the mind. So
right.
Yeah.
And rules Aquarius.
Yes.
So that square, that Sun sitting in Aquarius, which is our solar plexus, which is our our self-confidence, and it's squaring that Uranus and Taurus.
Yeah.
And so Taurus is asking Aquarius, I'm fixed earth, you're fixed air. How are we going to move forward together?
Yeah.
How are we going to bring in something new that is thrivable?
Right.
And that works? How are we going to do this together?
And that specifically feels true to us.
Right. That is authentic. And that will light us up, right? These are two fixed signs, right? But it's interesting because that Uranus is Aquarius's ruler.
Yes. Yeah.
Who is directing Jesus? I can't say that enough.
Yeah.
So, like you said, this is probably going to be a lot of tension that day.
Yeah.
So it's important to listen, right?
Yeah.
Because that moon in Cancer is in a good place.
Yes, it really is.
Yeah.
And it's like we're at home within our feelings.
Yeah.
We really are, and like we just need to feel them.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, I think that's.
I know.
That might be the real challenge on that day. Truly, is actually just feeling our feelings.
Yeah.
And that might be the thing that we do different.
Yeah.
That we don't try and
just
like
sweep under the
run
rug.
away from them.
Yeah.
That we just feel our feelings.
And see the value in that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Did you want to talk about Circe's stationing retrograde the
Yes.
same day?
So I think that is kind of speaking actually to this, because the whole thing with Ceres is she's an asteroid that speaks to how we nurture either ourselves or how we nurture others. But I think this is specifically about ourselves, that if we're beginning a contemplation on how we nurture ourselves, it's important to have that in the same vein of how do we be more authentic.
I agree.
Because it's like that's really how we nurture ourselves, is to be true to ourselves.
And Circe is the goddess of wheat. And so what are we feeding ourselves?
Yes.
And I really think we're going to start honestly noticing like the music we listen to.
Yes, consumption.
Yes,
Yeah.
what we literally eat. And
we need conscious consumption.
Sure, we do.
That's what that is, especially with Uranus being there.
Because where is she retrograding? What is she retrograding? Do you
Libra.
know? Oh, in Libra.
So justice.
And also balance, another
Yes.
air sign.
Yes.
Lord.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Not Lord like that, but good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay, so then we move into Saturday.
Yes.
Okay. The moon, starting out Saturday, the moon will still be in Cancer.
Yes, opposite Pluto, which I
Okay.
think, we're getting an opportunity to kind of look across at anything deep and secretive that we've kind of been hiding, and not necessarily hiding, but maybe, not
I see the
aware
moon.
of.
I see the moon in Cancer, like filing her nails. Like,
Yeah.
it's time.
Yeah, it's time. It's definitely time. And trying Jupiter, I feel like that almost makes it
Okay, wait.
makes us feel optimistic.
But is the moon in Cancer trining Jupiter, or is the moon?
Not until we move into Leo.
Okay, so
You're
the
right.
moon move
You're
into,
right.
okay. Because I'm reading your notes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I think you're right. Okay. So then the moon will move into Leo later that day.
Yes.
And that's
I skipped ahead.
Yes.
But yeah, when the moon moves into Leo,
okay.
I feel like we definitely get a lot more optimistic energy because, of course, that moon in Cancer opposite Pluto can be a bit of a Debbie Downer
Sure.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Because we're like digging deep, you know, the deep, you know, dark stuff. But I think we're doing that so we can kind of see the light that is the moon in Leo trining Jupiter, which is really, you know, happy, fiery, courageous energy that I think we're kind of like almost like burning off whatever that thing we've kind of like dug up with the opposition to Pluto is.
And I also think what's really interested in this is that you have that the moon, after it moves into Leo, will be conjunct Lilith.
Yes.
And so you have that fixed fire with that divine feminine energy.
Yes, and that primal feminine energy that I think...
Authentic.
Yes. Again, getting back to that authenticity and what we really truly need to survive.
And just a friendly reminder, when we talk about masculine and feminine energies, it is energies. It's not how you present or how you show up. We all have the feminine and masculine in us. So when we were talking about primal feminine energy, this is for everyone, and the same with masculine energy. So just want to make sure that's clear. Also, Venus in Pisces will square Mars in Gemini.
Yes.
Okay. Which I kept saying penis and Pisces, but
I think that's what she should be.
I know.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So the moon will be in Leo.
Yes.
And as it's the moon sitting in Leo, Venus, who is in Pisces, will be squaring Mars, who is still in Gemini.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's interesting because the Leo moon, that Leo energy actually would form a sextile with Pisces. Or no, I'm sorry, excuse me.
Okay, the Leo moon.
Nope, not Pisces, but would form a sextile with the Mars energy.
Okay.
So it is like kind of like a harmonious flow between those energies.
Okay, good, good.
But the Venus square Mars, to me, again, that's a challenge. We've got the square there. The challenge is, obviously, we are finding that balance between those energies that we've talked about. We just said, you know, they're energies that exist within us all. And with Venus being in Pisces, which we talked about, like she's kind of almost like coming into her own.
She's still a full Venus in my mind.
Yes, she's very soulful because when we get to that Pisces, you know, once we get past the illusions, the addictions, all the things that, you know, the lower Pisces. Pisces is transcendence.
Right. Higher Pisces is the beginning and ending immediately.
Yes.
And so Venus in Pisces is bringing that in.
Right.
She's in her highest self.
And I think she's really challenging that Mars in Gemini, which is kind of like a, you know, flighty, kind of curious energy.
I think to go to that third octave or higher octave, to be like, there's more than duality, guys. Let's go.
Exactly.
I do think that.
And I think that's kind of setting the stage for actually the next day when we've got that Leo full moon.
Leo full moon. Well, that's my moon, actually, you guys.
Yay!
So
happy lunar return.
I'm telling you, we're pulling out all the stops.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was my birthday, and now it's my moon day.
Yay!
Yeah. So Sunday is the full moon in Leo.
Yes.
And so it's got a good setup. Like this whole week, it's about authentic self. How is the masculine and feminine working together? Venus, like we just said, in Pisces is starting to bring in, like, you gotta let the old illusion go.
Yes.
It's time.
There's definitely a lot of that. And the Leo, any kind of Leo energy is never going to be accepting of fake. There's nothing fake about the Leo. So
coming from a Leo.
Well, and Leo moon too,
That's
so
true.
we know.
Okay.
You know, and that Leo energy, of course, is attached to the sun, our authentic, you know, selves.
Yeah.
And so to see that with the moon, it's like feeling authentic.
Right.
So we already have that energy where we're like being asked to step into our authentic selves.
Yeah.
But then, of course, we're opposite the sun, which is in Aquarius, which, you know, is tapping us into, you know, the collective.
Right. The higher.
Right. The higher.
Yeah.
But
unity consciousness is what I say. Unity consciousness. So it's moving out of the collective consciousness into unity consciousness.
Right.
Okay. That's
but
Aquarius.
Then we got that square with Uranus. So it's kind of like a little bit of a T-square going on there.
Because the moon is in Leo.
Yes.
And then the sun is in Aquarius.
Yep.
And so just stick with me. Leo's fixed. Aquarius is fixed. It's squaring Uranus and Taurus. Taurus is fixed, so we have fixed, fixed, fixed. So what are we missing?
We're missing the Scorpio energy.
No.
And that one I'm actually excited for, because for the longest time we had this T-square, the fixed T-square going on, where the Leo energy was the missing energy. And now the Scorpio energy is missing.
Which is water.
Yes, it's water. It's the depths of water, though. It's like that deep dive. You know, it's attached to Pluto, of course.
Death.
But again, it's transformation, too. And I think there's something about exploring the missing Scorpio energy where I think we might find some truth there.
I think so too, and I think it's once again elevating all these lower energies that we're.
Because again, Scorpio has 8 different archetypes that all represent the transformation and progression of Scorpio. So obviously we start with the Scorpion, but we progress all the way up to the rising Phoenix.
I was supposed to say the Phoenix? Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
but we've got a lot of different things like in the middle, like the snake and the eagle and all these different things.
Okay.
But that whole sign is about progressing. So yes, of course, there's the lower portion of it, the Scorpion that just wants to sting, and, you know, it's defensive and stuff. But we've got the rising Phoenix that's literally like dying so you can be reborn.
I love it because, like you guys, this moon in Leo, it's sextiling Mars and Gemini, which is good energy. So Leo, is showing it's okay to be in that unity consciousness. It's okay to be out of duality. Mars and Gemini are still having this conversation. Like, it's okay to show up in something different. And so, you know, keep working with this energy. It's, you know, I think a lot of things are going to be like, oh, you know, I think it's going to be a good week. Lots of like tensions, you know, but you guys just breathe into them.
Well, anytime there's a tension, it's a challenge.
Yeah, because it wants you to move higher.
Right.
Or just to let go. Like, stop holding on to this shit. Like, let it go and you can do something else.
But again, that's how we get higher.
That's true.
You know, because it's almost like, I think, you know what I'm saying right now? You know a hot air balloon? And how, like, they've got those sacks on the end of them and they cut the sacks off so they can go higher?
Yeah.
I almost see, like, it's going to sound weird, but, like, cutting the sacks off.
I like it.
You know, so that we can, like, the hot air balloon can go higher. There's a lot of air energy this week, so that makes sense to me.
Yeah, too, because that Leo that's squaring Uranus and Taurus, you know, again, that higher Leo is the consciousness of fire. You know, lower ego's like, lower Leo is like super, So it's squaring that Uranus and Taurus, which again is asking, okay, are you going to ground in being your new authentic self? And how are you going to show up? Are you going to say the same joke, or are you going to make a new joke, you know, to signal what's going on? So this full moon in Leo is, it's a good energy, right? You guys, but
it's a great way to end the week.
Yeah, and see what you're letting go of. See what you're letting go of.
Let something burn off.
Yeah, you don't have to be the same person you were yesterday or 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And the square on Uranus is challenging us to be different.
Right. So
do it different.
Yeah. Work with that solar plexus, you guys. Yeah. Solar plexus, that's Leo. That's that Leo energy. Moon and Leo. It's making my heart sing, but like I said, that is my moon sign. So okay, guys. So big week ahead. Imbolc on Wednesday. Full moon on Sunday. So you guys pace yourselves.
Yeah, take deep breaths.
Take deep breaths. I was going to say something about king cake and stuff, but whatever.
Don't eat too much.
Yeah, basically. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, please reach out to me via Instagram, YouTube, or the websites, and then, of course, with Helen as well via Instagram or her YouTube channel. All right, until next week. I don't know. Bye.